After days of closure following violent anti-government protests, Sri Lanka's besieged presidential office has now reopened for operations. The presidential secretariat, which was stormed by a sea of demonstrators early this month, resumed operations under a tight security cover. According to reports, the office staff resumed their work from today, while President Wickremesinghe will return to the building in a day or two. The site had been blocked by protesters for nearly 100 days. It saw massive unrest on the 9th of July, remember. Widespread anger over the country's worsening economic crisis saw protesters storm the colonial-era building. The resumption of operations in President's office coming days after the Lankan police led a violent crackdown in Colombo that brought a wave of international condemnation. United Nations human rights groups decried President Wickremesinghe for using violence against unarmed protesters. The months-long anti-government protests have also inflicted considerable damage to the building. According to the authorities, more than 1,000 valuable artifacts, including items of vintage and antique value, have gone missing from the presidential house. Meanwhile, the newly elected president says that the respect of the rights of the demonstrators to peacefully protest will continue, but has asserted that he would not allow another government building like the president's office to be occupied by demonstrators. Wickremesinghe has also reportedly told diplomats that non-violent protests will be allowed to continue, including in the commercial capital of Colombo. This comes as protesters continue to denounce the latest crackdown.
We are protesting for a just society, and we are being attacked brutally, and we condemn and say we will continue this protest of love, whatever the attack they are going to give. Even today they might attack us, but we will resist and we will face it.
Meanwhile, a rights group documenting alleged abuses in the island nation filed a complaint with Singapore's Attorney General seeking the arrest of former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The group has submitted a 63-page complaint accusing Gotabaya Rajapaksa of breaching the Geneva Convention. Rajapaksa, remember, submitted his resignation from Singapore on the 14th of July after fleeing Sri Lanka. For more on these developments, our correspondent Dasoni Athoda getting us this report. Take a look.
After over 100 days of protest, the presidential secretariat, which you see right behind me, and at a certain point was infiltrated by the protesters, is now fully closed off to the protesters and is fully functioning and operational for the staff that is working here at the presidential secretariat. What you can see is the road that leads towards the main entrance of the presidential secretariat is now barricaded but is open for traffic, with security officials not allowing any individual to go to the center point of this place to record any material or even for the public to take photographs. This comes at a time where the new president is now attempting to restore some form of pre-protest normalcy here in Sri Lanka. Stay with WION as we track the very latest here from Sri Lanka. Reporting from Colombo, I'm Dasuni Athoda.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.